That's easy.
See?
That's really easy.
We try to make it comfortable.
Yeah.
I worry about the navigation. You don't have to white knuckle it because, we try to go slow. Absolutely. That's the goal. Safety is our, should have that on the, don't like my driving? One of those things. Imagine what it's like being in the car.
Right. There you go.
Could be a good bumper sticker.
It could.
To promote the show.
There you go.
Welcome to Carpooling with Ben. Ladies and gentlemen, TechACCESS Rhode Island is a really cool organization you may not have heard about, and if you haven't heard about them, you probably don't know what they do. Here to explain it, the Executive Director, Kelly Charlebois.
Very good.
Wow.
Very
good.
Did that
right.
You did great.
Awesome with that. Kelly, thanks for joining me in the car.
Thank you very much, Ben.
Lovely weather outside as we go through. I mean, we could start the whole ride with sleigh ride.
We could do that. We're not going to sing today, though.
No singing. We do not take after James Corden at all.
Very good.
It's talk to me about TechACCESS RI and what you guys do, just kind of in a nutshell.
Sure. So we've been around since 1991.
Okay.
And that was right after the American with Disabilities Act was passed. So we've got some longevity, and our mission is to promote independence and achievement through the use of technology. So we primarily focus on using what's called assistive technology.
Okay.
And that is basically anything that allows a person to be more independent and achieve pretty much what their goals are, and that can be related to education, to employment, to living independently. We provide services for the entire age range, so we have some students, some individuals who come to us in early intervention,
Okay.
Which is children who are identified really early as having some kind of a special need, and that includes a group from the age of birth to the age of 3.
Okay.
And then we see school-age children, through their point of graduation, whether that's 12th grade or a little bit beyond, depending on what their skills are. And then we provide services for adults as well. So, it's very similar to HMEA in that we serve the entire, the life spectrum of an individual with a disability.
We recently had Doug McPherson from HMEA. You
Right.
guys are really part of the whole partner agency there.
Right.
How is it that you guys tie in together with HMEA? Like, what is, if you had to explain the connection, there's always the 7 steps to Kevin Bacon. Sorry, that's
You're not going to make me list those,
sorry,
are you?
that's a poor analogy. Tie the two together as far as you guys, TechACCESS RI, along with Horace Mann Educational Associates.
Right. So a few years back, I should say it's been more than a few years, but at one point we were introduced to Joel Nowak, who's the head honcho over at HMEA, and we started to compare mission statements. And we recognized that there was really this parallel in terms of what we were trying to do. So HMEA provides services, again, that help people lead independent lives.
Sure.
And we bring the technology piece to that with the same mission. And so we recognized that there was a commonality in what we were doing. And we decided to explore whether or not we needed to have kind of a more formal relationship. And so 3 years ago, we actually merged into HMEA and became part of that organization as a whole. And so, again, kind of working on that joint mission, and our role really is to bring technology into the services that they provide to really enhance that independence that they're already achieving with the folks that they serve.
So what are the kind of different technologies that are being applied in
Yeah.
that sense?
So it's really interesting. When the agency started in 1991, obviously we had very limited resources, right? Technology was, a desktop. We didn't really even have great internet.
A giant tower unit.
A giant tower unit, right?
It was cool because if you push a button, a cup holder came out.
Right.
Apparently it was a CD drive, but I used it as a cup holder.
You can use it in a lot of ways. So, and then when technology became, portable, our first laptops weighed about 13 or 14 pounds, and
good old days.
The good old days, right? Before when there was dial-up internet and all those kinds of things. So, the technology obviously has been really exciting to kind of watch evolve. We now have iPads. You have instant access to essentially any information that you want.
Sure.
But for a lot of the folks that come to us, really what their primary disability is that they're nonverbal. So, everybody knows individuals who are on the autism spectrum. We also have a lot of folks that come to us, who for a variety of different reasons just have limited ability to speak or are completely nonverbal. So one of the most exciting things that we do is we use technology to give those individuals a voice. And so a lot of what we do is using the iPad, which didn't really start out as a tool that was meant for people with unique needs, but that's certainly what it's evolved into.
Sure.
And so we can use apps and the touch screen to really provide people with an opportunity to share their feelings, to talk to people and to just be really active members of society or their families. We also look at vision technology. So for individuals who are blind or have low vision, we use things like magnifiers or Braille technology to give them access to print.
Oh, cool.
And we have a lot of students and adults who come to us with a variety of learning disabilities. So that might mean that they're unable to read as efficiently as they need to, or that they have difficulty taking notes in class, or learning and retaining materials. So we use different types of technologies to support that as well.
Wow. So, I mean, there's no one simple answer, no one simple way, because it's so adaptive. And what you said about the iPad, I found very interesting, because I mean, if you look at the history of Apple and you look at their overall mission in life, it seems like it would naturally fit that.
Right.
That product came out not necessarily for that intent, but through research and organizations like TechACCESS of RI, you guys have found a way to make it really an imperative tool.
Absolutely.
For communication. So if people want to learn more or get a better understanding on what you guys do and the programs that are offered, where could people go for that, and how could a person dig deeper on that?
Sure. So we have a really good website, which is TechACCESS-RI.org.
Okay.
And so there's some resources there, although we are getting a refresh on that website very soon, which will be really good.
Very fun.
We do provide workshops throughout the course of the year. So if you're a professional or a family member who's interested in learning about topic-specific technology, there is a calendar at the website where folks can go and get that information. We try to keep the costs really reasonable so that individuals can afford to come and get that information. We do free demonstrations. So what very often happens is family members or teachers or therapists will find a new tool online and try to figure out whether or not it's the right fit for somebody, or just want to kind of get their hands on it to see what it's all about. We do free demonstrations if people call and make an appointment to do that. And we also have a conference every year in November.
I've heard a lot about the conference.
You have. It's a great event.
I heard you were quite the entertaining speaker.
Is that true?
Quite the presenter. The Cardi brothers told me. They said you've got to talk to Kelly. You've got to talk to Kelly. She's the one. She is the authority on all things. The conference that comes up every November, is that something that is open to the public, or is that something that is something where if you know somebody that is utilizing your services that they would go, or how does that work?
Yeah, so it is open to the public, and our goal every year, we've grown. The conference started in 1988, before there even was a TechACCESS.
Wow.
So we're celebrating 30 years this year, which is a big deal for us.
Sure.
And so we really try to make it appealing to the broadest audience that we can. And so last year we had 33 presentations that ran throughout the course of our day 2. And we bring in national level presenters. These are guys that are, the AT rock stars, I call them. So they come in and they present for us. We have a full day pre-conference workshop for folks who are looking for more in-depth information.
Service providers.
Yeah. And again, just kind of really looking to capture the entire, range of services that we provide. So not just, K through 12 students, but also folks from adult agencies like the VA, or if they're working in independent living centers, or if they're at colleges providing support services to people who are studying for post-secondary degrees. And it's an exciting day. We have a huge vendor hall. We had 47 vendors, I think, last year. So
Wow.
People come from all over the the country with the latest and greatest AT tools, so it's a great opportunity for people to get their hands on it.
Sure.
And we also have a really unique feature called the Bringing Access to Life Expo.
Tell me about that.
And that is, that started a few years ago, and we basically bring entrepreneurs who have disabilities into the conference vendor hall, and they have an opportunity to sell what it is that they've created. And some of them are using assistive technology to create those tools, and some people are just coming up with some great ideas and finding the resources that they need, and you know, putting together little businesses.
It almost sounds like a Shark Tank for like you know, it's like
it's a little less judgmental.
Right. No, it's a little less Hollywood, a little more realistic.
Correct.
I like that. But that's so. How many submissions do you have for that, Bringing It to Life?
We had 12 last year. We had 8 the year before. You know, and our goal is to always make that as big as we can.
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity for those folks. It's a great opportunity for us as, you know, the individuals that support those entrepreneurs to interact with them and to figure out what they're doing. And really, their stories are powerful. You know, they're usually with family members who can speak to the fact that it's been difficult to find employment.
Sure.
You know, unemployment is, you know, challenging for a lot of people, but, you know, disproportionately folks with disabilities are obviously employed less. So a lot of families have just gotten really creative and collaborated with some state agencies to find some funding support, and just really developed, you know, not only great products, but really powerful stories that, you know, can empower other families or service providers that are there to kind of think outside the box a little.
Wow, that's so great. You know, it's something we talked about a couple episodes ago with Doug McPherson. You know, when people finally make that call to an organization like HMEA, it's either it's usually one of two scenarios. Either they've just gotten some news from a doctor or a healthcare provider that, okay, this is the situation you're dealing with now.
Right.
Or they've tried so long to do it on their own, and they're just at the end of the rope.
Right.
And they need the help, they need the assistance.
Right.
And that's when, you know, HMEA steps in, and now with the partnership they have with you guys, and really, you know, working together, it's funny, it seems like it's easier now to match up the various nonprofit service agencies that are out there, you know, thanks to the internet, and, you know, it's like a virtual match.com for organizations. Swipe right.
Swipe right. Whatever that means.
Yeah, I don't know. I never had to swipe right.
I didn't either, thank God.
We did the old-fashioned way.
Right.
It's great that the information's out there, so if people want to get to learn more about you guys, obviously the website and Facebook, what's the greatest need you guys have, is what I'd like to ask you to kind of wrap it up.
Yeah, I think...
aside from money. If you
aside
want to bring
from
money, write a check.
Money is good. I think the biggest need that we have is really finding, you know, ways to keep up with the technology, to make sure that we feel that when we're, you know, bringing our services to the table, that we're using, you know, the best and the newest. It's hard for us to kind of keep up with professional development. We just came back from a conference in Orlando that we go to every year to kind of rejuvenate and refresh our thinking. I think that's the biggest challenge, is to really find ways to keep up with the ever-changing technology.
Well, I mean, every day something's changing, something's new, and I mean, especially with anything that's app or computer-based, it's subject to hacking or various viruses that are out there, whether they're, you know, intentional or unintentional. It just, you know, that's, so it takes a lot. Do you pull from resources like the local technical schools and local colleges and high schools that are?
Yeah, we do. We work closely with New England Institute of Technology.
Okay.
They just instituted a bachelor's level program where they're training folks who are coming out as therapists in assistive technology, so that when they hit individuals in the field that may need it, you know, they have that resource and that knowledge. And we're also part of a bigger, what's called the Assistive Technology Access Partnership here in Rhode Island.
Okay.
So if it's a service that we don't necessarily have, or a knowledge base that we have, because we can't know everything, That partnership consists of the Office of Rehab Services, which is our vocational rehab agency in the state, the Adapted Telephone Equipment Loan Program, which looks at supporting individuals who are deaf or hard of hearing, the East Bay Educational Collaborative, which looks at transition, so those students that are going from, basically K through 12 education into post-secondary or independent living, and then Ocean State Center for Independent Living, which is the independent living agency in the state. So we collaborate a lot. We get some funding through those sources, and we write a lot of grants. We work with Doug to try to get money for all the equipment that we need to kind of keep up on things. So
you guys have quite a wide net, and you have quite a wide resource. Folks, go check them out on Facebook, online, on the website. You're going to learn so much great stuff about them. And if you are looking for information, it's something that you feel, maybe TechACCESS RI or even HMEA can help you with some situations that you're in, reach out to them.
Absolutely.
That's the best thing to do.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much for coming on the ride.
Thank you very much.
We'll continue. I'll get you back to your office so you can
Great.
check to see if there was any technology changes since we've been on the road here.
Probably have been.